This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016, episode 68. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig, at Nicholas M. Craig is my Twitter. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. Joining me, popular demand, back by popular demand, Brian with an eye Aldridge. What's going on, Brian?
Just because it would be lonely doing a show alone.
Oh, God, yeah. 2 hours of just talking to yourself? Oh, my God.
We got to think those radio guys that do that.
Yeah, but they have
that's
commercials.
A special kind of talent.
But they have commercials.
Yeah, but still, some of them will go on
but
15 minutes at a time nonstop.
I could do 15 minutes by myself easily. But, I could not do 2 hours straight, which is what... Well, I mean, I guess probably combined, it's probably like an hour a person. But still, it's... Yeah, I don't think that'd be fun. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is a little bit better. So,
it's
all right, if you want to find me on the internet, at Boise Computer is my Twitter. Of course, we got Infection Podcast, or Infection Cast on Twitter, right?
Infection Cast, correct. We have a character limit.
Check out our website, infectionpodcast.com, which has our TeamSpeak, our Steam group. I'm saying it early because we always mention it at the end for those that fall asleep halfway. Make sure you go check out our website. If you aren't in our Steam group, I don't know where you've been this whole time, so maybe it's your first time listening.
Yeah, we did. We actually have somebody in chat, is it McGrugan? That's the first time. McGrogan. I can't see. My eyes are shot. First time live viewer of the show. He's listened for a while.
He's been listening since the beginning.
First time live viewer. Now, on the Steam group, we'll do this for a few weeks, and then people will get in the groove, and hopefully we won't have to do this anymore. So coming up this week on the Infection, the Friday night gameplays that we're doing, we've got our game of the week, Overwatch. Ooh, wow, that's very small. You can't even see that. And I can't zoom in on it. So Overwatch is the game of the week, and what we're going to be doing is Overwatch is in public beta as of right now. So if you want Overwatch, you can go and download it like now. It's available for you to download. So download it now, and then by Friday night you'll have it up to date, and you'll be good to go with that. So that's what's going on. Overwatch.
Because that's just coming. It's going to be out 2 days before we do our broadcast, so you'll have plenty of time to get it. Exactly.
So that's the whole goal here, is to notify you beforehand so that you're not caught off last minute. And
that's what we ran into the first time we did it, or one of the first couple times we did it. And we're like, okay, we mentioned it right before. Oh, we're going to do this one, and then it's a 14 gigabyte download.
Exactly.
Some people have different speeds, so this will give you time. Start the download, as soon as it comes out, and everybody should be ready, because we had, 15 plus people.
Oh man, this weekend was awesome. We had, I'd say we had 3 groups of 5. So yeah, around anywhere between 10 and 15 people at a time playing. And we played King of the Kill this weekend. And I guess we'll do that again because people seem to really enjoy it.
That's how we started. So a lot of our listeners are people that started with H1Z1.
Yeah.
And so
I saw a lot of old...
I know that they really want H1Z1 to still work. It's just hard. It's hard to keep playing that game week after week.
Yeah, it's...
As of right now.
I know I saw a lot of old names like Kramit. I haven't seen Kramit or talked to Kramit in months, because he was one of our H1Z1 guys, so it was nice to see that. So
very good.
That's it. Yeah, Friday night it'll be out, and we'll be playing that around 9:30 Eastern. It'll be on Landgun's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Landgun44.
And if we host it, so if you're looking for it, you can jump on our channel here, and it'll have a link to take you directly to his channel. Twitch, for some reason, doesn't combine the chats.
No, it doesn't.
So you have to actually be in Landgun's channel. You could be in our channel watching it, but the chat won't be doing anything.
Exactly.
Probably.
And we'll tweet it out, so that stuff works. Yep. Now, today, I guess I'm going to kind of jump in the order here. So they did earlier today, and I played H1Z1 today, Brian. I can say that I play H1Z1 more than you recently.
Yes, that's true.
I played the Legion CM Greg put a post out on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Reddit about 4 or 5 hours ago. It said that they wanted to do a zombie density and population cap on the test servers. They're playing around with zombie populations and stuff. So he was encouraging people to jump on and play. And said he was giving away Daybreak cash. If you
Game Break, nice. I'm really gonna love hearing that.
I'm sorry. I don't even know what I was thinking of. Daybreak cash. If you can find him in game. So I played around for a little while. I wasn't actively searching for him. And there are a few issues, and I don't really want to get into the crazy issues. I had some G9 errors like 3 or 4 times in a row. I had to verify my files and then relog into another server, and then I was able to get in. But there was a so the whole point here is zombie density, because right now it's weird. Either the zombies suck or they're way too powerful. Like there's I don't think there's ever been an in-between, Brian. I don't know if you'd agree or disagree with that, but
it's either you could sit there and kind of kite them, stay one step away the whole time and not really worry about dying. It's just they're more of a hassle, to where they're kind of like miscreated zombies. A miscreated zombie hits you once and it takes a quarter to half of your life. I think they're kind of on the edge of that. Now, I saw your post about your error, and I like the response from their QA team.
Yes, this is on Reddit you're talking about?
Yeah.
So the thing was, pretty much the option was do a full uninstall and reinstall of the game.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, the way I got it,
you might want to check your firewall settings as well, because I'm sure those have changed in the last.
Oh, I didn't even read that. I didn't even get to that part. He said,
"Yeah, you may also want to check your firewall settings." So
it was weird. I was in the game. So let me explain how this happened and how I fixed it, because this may be useful to somebody back at Daybreak. So I was playing. I died. I respawned. I went AFK to go grab something to drink, and I was killed in the process of, when I was just sitting in the middle of the woods. I was killed by something.
And you didn't click exit right away?
So I didn't click exit. I wasn't here. So I clicked respawn when I got back, and it hung for 2 or 3 minutes. So I just quit the game. Yep. And then when I tried logging back in, I kept getting the G9. I verified the files, still got G9. Then I went into a PvE server. I loaded in as a fresh character. I was able to log out and then log back into the PvP server, and that worked. So
here's
I think it was like my character was still floating. My character was still the server still had my character in memory or something.
See, I ran into a bug that's kind of a similar idea every time with the when we were doing the gaming this weekend. If I would sit there and wait for everyone on our team to die, and I didn't click exit game, after I died.
Yeah.
If I waited a certain period of time, when you click exit, it kicks you out of the whole game.
Oh, nice.
If early on, right away, if you click exit, it takes you to the menu, which is the normal behavior. But for some reason, if you wait 5 minutes, it crashes the whole game, which doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it's kind of a similar thing that happened to you. It's a little bit different than the PvP, but if you wait for some reason at the death screen and you don't click anything right away, something happens on their end.
Yeah, and I even noticed this weekend that everybody else would die on my team, and it would still say you still have a chance or something, and it was no, everybody on my team.
But then when you clicked exit, did it crash your game?
No, it didn't crash my game. You were crashing all the time,
and then it would crash out.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with you in the crashing.
But it was only at the death screen. I wasn't crashing during the regular game.
Yeah, no, we didn't ever play any games together. I don't think so. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, you were in a different channel the whole time,
which was a great issue to have.
You didn't get to hear me talking.
No, but I got to say this, and I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but I went up to your channel at one point, and there was nobody was talking. It was so boring. I was up there for 25 seconds, and you guys were in game, and nobody was talking. I came back to my channel. I was like, these guys aren't even talking. We got the good group down here. There was dead silence. You guys were in the middle of
a tea party. We're focusing on business.
Yeah, but it's. You're playing as Actually, you were the only one. You're like, I'm at the police station, and like that was it. Like,
oh yeah, well,
like a full 30 seconds.
We were coming into a firefight, so I'm calling out.
There was no call.
Everybody, radio silence.
Yeah, there was no call outs. It was just dead air, and I was like, oh my god, it's just so boring.
I was calling out because I was watching guys, because guys were coming out of the police station, coming across the street. So as soon as I saw them, I'm calling out positions. I see. That's my old school WoW. Like,
no, calling out is fine, but there was no chatter for like the 30 seconds I was up
but that's
there.
The thing is, when I played WoW more seriously, like there was no extra chat. You weren't, if you sat there and just gabbed when you were actually playing, when something was happening, you were kicked out of the guild.
Oh, screw that. Yeah, I mean, the whole point is just the gab. I mean, it's a... Like,
no, not when you're doing something that's taking you like a week to accomplish.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
mess up.
But this doesn't. I mean, that's the whole thing. This is like an arcadey, like, survival
I just have
thing.
that bad habit of like when I'm playing and focusing, all right, talk business.
I was very uncomfortable in that channel. Like, I was like, I was like...
See, we didn't notice it though, because we were just calling out.
Yeah, and then I went back down to my channel. Like there was like 2 different people having 2 different conversations, and we were all playing. But it was fine because it didn't affect. Like at one point, Langun and Ross did a 2-man, and they were still in our channel talking like through their 2-man, and we're trying to play a 5-man. It's like what a disaster. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, this doesn't even mean anything, but the most fun I've had in H1Z1 in a while, just because we had so many people playing. Now, one quick thing before we move on here. This was the new smoke effect I saw in person today. This is coming from PHVCK, who I asked to take a screenshot. So is that from a flare, or is that from some? That is from that is a flare. The flare is right down. Let me turn my mouse.
Now, why is the flare green?
I think you can make them any color. If you could see my cursor.
Yeah, I see it.
The mouse is, or the thing is right down there.
I see the flare down there.
Oh, hold on. Actually, I do have. Hold on. This may work. I may crash something, but it may work.
There you go.
Oh, that did not work.
Look at all the bags. So that was the
when
he said come to the police station today.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. It was come to the police station.
That must have worked out really well for them.
No, there was that was from people lobbing grenades at the group. It was very civil for the most part. I threw a few grenades. PHVCK lit a landmine at the front door.
So you were part of the problem.
Yeah. If you're not part of the problem, you're part of the solution. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So yes, I was part of the problem. But yeah, that was fun. So we did that today, and
yeah, they've been really. I mean, we'll see. I don't remember. That is covered somewhat in the video they put out. So we'll see a little bit more of that. They've been working a lot on those effects.
So let's get right into it. The April art wrap. By the way, still. The April art wrap is that the art wrap videos are as consistent as Infection Podcast. Every month there is an art wrap, like relatively quick. Yeah, this was updated May 2nd.
That's the thing. Sebastian is one of their most reliable employees.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, he's talented, but he's reliable every time. Because he said, even here, he said, I put this together. Like he's the one doing it every time. And he does it every time on time.
Yeah, totally. So, we'll do the art wrap. It's a little bit longer of an art wrap. It's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
And then there's a lot of stuff to discuss. So this is going to take up a good chunk here. So here we go. All right, that was the art wrap. There is so much stuff to digest in this. So I guess the first thing is I'm going to show this. This, Brian, is what you have been describing that you've wanted forever now. This previously, what is just an open field, is now populated with trees, little trees, large trees. They show it the fog. Like, you can't see across that field. Let me go back there. You can't see across that field. Like, right there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't see. Like, you can just barely make out that bush. Anything past that, you're not going to see.
Yep. And that's the thing that just made no sense in the beginning, is that for some reason they had it to where you could see like those far trees. The render distance is the problem, that they didn't fix the render distance. So you could see it over there, but they didn't have it rendering correctly.
Yeah. So that may be.
And so now this kind of fixes that issue with the distance rendering. Is they can make it so where there's a fog out there, they don't have to render the things all the way out there. It takes away the black blob problem, because that's what they were doing. Is people just aim at the black blob.
But look at how. But I love, like, the fact that is so. Like, Brian, if I was sitting in those trees over there, you'd have no clue I was there.
Yeah. That's what this kind of a game needs. I mean, this is a game where you should be able to kind of sneak out on the edges, keep your distance, stay out of someone's way if you don't want to be seen, stick into the bushes, kind of stay along the tree line. And it was really difficult to do.
Yeah.
Before now. So if they can put this in there, I think it's going to really add to the atmosphere of what this type of a survival game that has an element of PvP in it is what it really should be. That's what that is supposed to be.
So, before we keep going, before I keep going, do you have anything else on this video that popped out for you specifically? Because I've got a few other things.
So I did notice. I mean, they're working on the trees. I mean,
yes.
That's been something that causes so much repetition. And they show adding a tree in there. That can make such a difference when there's just foliage.
Here you go. This picture, I think, sums it up the best. That is beautiful right there.
Yeah.
That is, nothing like that exists in the game right now.
Yeah. And that's what it should look like. I mean, it's kind of like you're looking at a landscape. I mean, Some of these games that we play, you look over and they're just gorgeous. And you can tell they really took time to kind of paint the landscape. That's what frustrates me about a game that's really thrown together, is it's more of them making a generic map and just clicking, oh, there's supposed to be trees here. Let's click a bunch of trees in here. Yeah. Not looking at, okay, if you're standing on this mountainside, what's it going to look like?
Tree.jpg, exactly.
Yep.
Like this, bro, I think you described it perfectly. That's a landscape.
Yep.
I don't know about where you live, Brian, but I live at the foothills of the Adirondack Mountain. And like, this is something that you like. This is how stuff actually looks. I mean, obviously not exactly, but that's legitimately how stuff looks in the distance.
Yep. I mean, here,
so
Boise,
that's really impressive.
Le Bois, it's French for city of trees. So I mean, we have a lot of trees here, and we have a nice mountainous backdrop on our city, and so I know what it's supposed to look like. And if you go in the game right now, that's not what it looks like.
No, definitely not. It's just a bunch of open space where you could see somebody. You see the black blob from 1,000 miles away. So let's see. Other than that, the other.
So one thing that they were working on.
Here's another one too.
Tell me why. Yeah. See, and that nice mist kind of adds to that
Totally.
effect.
Yeah. Now, if it actually looks like that, because they've tried introducing the fog, and the fog was a freaking disaster.
So if you want to jump to about 2 minutes,
okay,
I want to get your take on what this is.
Okay, that's a bear.
All right, so if you look, like these bears, they have these different animations, and then they have like an injured animal look.
Yeah, like that.
So they show them limping along.
I don't think that's a limp. That's a breathe. That's like a breathe. That's after it was.
No. Look, they're licking their paw. Like, keep playing it.
Okay. See, it's cleaning. Yeah. Huh.
See, it's like limping.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, that's a really odd looking limp.
I don't know what.
Look at his head. It's like flopping forwards as a zombie.
Yeah,
zombie deer.
It's got a. It gives itself a concussion.
But yeah, those are supposed to be wounded animals, and like if you shoot it, and if you shoot it once, is that an effect that's going to happen, or is it when a zombie attacks it? I'm just wondering what they're expecting that to be used for.
Yeah. Now, there is something a little bit later on that goes back to the animal thing, and that makes sense that is wounded animals. Now, the other thing that specifically jumped out at me, we may have already passed it at this point. Yeah, I think I did. The parachute. And I want you to really pay attention to how the parachutes previously worked. Okay. So here is here's the parachute. That's the new parachute. This is the current parachute. Mm-hmm. If you notice, no matter what happens, the parachute stays the same object. It never changes. It
just rotates.
It just rotates. It's a solid block, and that block just rotates on an X, Y, and Z axis. It just flips. There's no movement of the parachute itself, and that's why when you land, it does that thing where it kind of flops over. So this is the old one, and you'll watch them land. It just does this thing where it hits the ground and then disappears, and then you kind of fall. This is the new one, and this actually moves. The wind is hitting it, and then your character's kind of skydiving a little bit better, and then down here.
And then when you land, it actually folds.
Yeah, it folds, but it doesn't. Like the way we do it right now is you hit the ground, or you angle yourself down so that you hit the ground and then you pop back up and fall. This you just instantly fall. So that's that's going to be cool. Now this other thing is cool too. This splash screen for when you
yeah, it's much better than the one that's currently there.
Yeah.
And these are things that artists should, I mean, they could throw that, I mean, not to be rude, but like they can put that together in a day. If you give a good artist a task of, I want a good splash screen.
Yeah.
But these are the things that people really notice. These are the screenshots. Like if you want people to talk positively about your game, why not put time in the thing that people are taking a screenshot of the most?
Yeah, this is cool right
here. And you get like winner chicken dinner. That's what people are putting on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you put some extra time into that? You know, I mean, have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, no.
Like one of their sloppiest looking things is the screenshot that's being put on the internet the most.
Well,
so I mean,
when you say it like that,
if I were managing it, I'd be like, you need to make that look good because we want people to think the whole other rest of the game looks just like this.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I'm surprised it took them so long to put this out. I mean, that should be common sense thinking of, let's make, okay, what are people most likely going to put on the internet as repeat stuff?
Yeah, screenshots.
Screenshots.
You know, I came in second.
And that's
I came in
be
first. Yeah.
So, because the old winner chicken dinner, it's just a list of loot along the bottom, and it says winner chicken dinner. I mean, it wasn't really anything.
Yeah, and even like I remember we came in second place in one of the BRs that we did, one of the group BRs we did. And it was just that. It was like, woo, and then it was like three little animations. It was like bag, ticket, elite bag, ticket, and it was just kind of, it looked kind of crappy. It looked like something I would throw together in like an afternoon quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like they've got all these artists on
and
the
they
team.
do beautiful stuff. I mean, you can see some of the stuff that they've done.
I mean,
earlier in the video.
Do you figure that would be some of the easiest because it's not a huge amount of animation. It's not a huge amount of rigging, or it's not a 3D asset. You may do something where something kind of fades across or slides in or does something, but that's stuff that they could do in a short period of time. Like, why not assign a person like on a Friday? Say, hey, it's Friday, just work on this today.
Yeah, and
so there was one where they showed like a kind of a faraway version of the map, and I was trying to find where. I guess that would be around 13 seconds. That was some of those scenes where he's kind of panning around. That's what I would assume is some of our first views at like 10 seconds are some of the first views of the Z2 map, like faraway views.
Yeah,
that,
like
you were showing those shots of.
Yeah, like right here. By the way, that's a really cool shot right there. If that's actually how it looks like a jungle. It doesn't even look like H1Z1. It looks like a jungle. If this is anything like the final result of the wilderness in Z2, I'll be very happy because that looks fan-freaking-tastic. That is awesome how that looks.
Well, and I hope that.
And look at that.
I would assume the whole thing looks like that.
Yeah, I'd hope. So
and then they put their day-night cycle, which I haven't even really paid attention to the day night, but as far as like a moon going across the sky and the sun, it is up there.
Yeah.
But I don't really sit there and stare at it. So
Yeah. Well, you don't want to stare at the sun too long.
yeah.
So then there you go. And then there you go. So, other than that, which by the way, that's big stuff. I don't want to make it seem like that's not huge, because that's potentially like what we could see on Z2. Had some other weapon animations, some more fire effects and stuff like that.
And they've been doing a ton. Now, my complaint is someone threw a grenade into the building we were in when we were doing the BRs this past week, and it set the whole building on, like the whole house on fire. I
accidentally killed
me within 2 seconds.
Yeah, I accidentally killed myself and almost one of my teammates doing the same thing.
It seems like that's really overpowered for a Molotov to kill you within, like, I couldn't even get to the back door before it killed me, and they were outside throwing it through the wall.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I think they really. I mean, if you look at the animation that's in this video, the Molotov effect for me doesn't make any sense. Like, it shouldn't spread. If you go to around 2 minutes 30 seconds, look how spread out that is. That covers like a whole house.
Yeah, it's a very large area.
It shouldn't be covering that much area, because all you have to do is lob it at the front door and everybody inside dies.
Exactly.
So anyways, I think that was pretty much the main part of, they did a lot of explosion effects and just kind of showing the driving at night and running into a light pole and it flickers. So, I mean, there is some effects they put in there, but I think that's the main part of it. Now, what's your opinion on the current user interface? Like your health thing, like that would be the next thing that I would say, why don't they put a little more time in that? Because if you look at the lower right, like when people are, once again, the whole concept of people are taking screenshots of their character running around. Why wouldn't you make the one thing that's on the screen look good? I mean, do you understand?
Yeah, no,
like,
I got you.
I just don't get that stuff. Like, that's like the lower right hand corner of the screen. Like, for instance, I mean, PHPCK, he posted that picture of all the body bags, or the death bags. Look at the lower right hand corner. That's, other than people talking, that's the only thing on the screen, and it is so minimal, and it just looks blah to me. Like, why not
it is. At this point, I'm not sure how important it is. I feel like that's a Z2 thing that should be implemented around the same time as Z2.
Yeah.
I just, at this point, I want an even split of graphics and like actual like work being done on like gameplay and stuff like that. And they're doing a lot of they're not doing a lot of but they're doing.
They really don't work on. I know they're hiring a person for user interface, but that's one thing that they've done. They've done their loading screen. They've done the stuff.
Yeah, the new loading screen's all right. Yeah,
but the stuff that's actually in the game, like, they haven't really worked on that for a while. Like, it's been the same for about a year. I mean, they've changed slightly a little bit of the look, but it's pretty much like your health bar and your stamina down lower right, other than adding comfort and adding and taking away things. It's pretty much the same thing for a year. Like, get a good UI guy in there and just make the game look pretty. Like, make the interface look good.
There's definitely work needs definitely be done, because it's literally what that is a gray box with like Helvetica bold, and then like a few like other boxes. Like, that's it. It got the job done to start. And I think that the even the inventory system needs to be kind of, I think, redone too, because you open the inventory, I don't know, it's kind of clunky and boxy. It takes up, there's a lot of room in there that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, they could get a guy in there who's just good with user interfaces and make the game, like, because does form, when things are done sloppily like that does form a lot of the opinion of the game.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is for us, and I noticed this today, when I was playing today, I kind of I wanted to like relearn stuff. So
because I run into the problem. I've played different games. Some of them you press F, some of them you press E, and I get to where I'm like, oh, what key does this? You play Miscreated, you play all these different games. They're slightly different.
They are. So, but like I just noticed a lot of stuff that was odd with how I was playing. So, and I don't know if how much of that was the user interface, but it's stuff that at this point we have just become like the norm of like spamming E around objects to like interact with them is not something you deal with in other games. So that's what it came down to for me. I tried just doing stuff normally.
Yeah.
And I realized that stuff, and there were. Are we done with this art wrap? Because I want to mention a bug that I noticed. So this,
or you can, if you have different stuff than what I noticed.
But did you play today?
I didn't play.
Oh,
no.
okay. So this is something I noticed today on the test server that I have yet to experience anywhere else. If you have a gun or an object with a scope, this would be the crossbow, any gun, a pistol, anything where you scope up, not an axe, not a knife. When you actually scope up, and you were trying to shred a piece of clothing, so you right click on it and you click shred, it would bring you in. It would bring the gun up instead of letting you interact with the object. Now, if you switch back to a hatchet, axe, your fists, you are able to right click on that and use it. So I've got to submit that as a bug report later. But I noticed that today because I was in one of the dresser drawers in a camper. And I was like, "What the hell's going on here? Like, I can't. I can't. I'm trying to shred this pair of pants and this shirt. It just wasn't working."
And that's the odd thing is just little things like that. You know, I understand that they are using their own engine and it's not seamless. Like some of the little things that you think, oh, that's just a quick fix. Like they just didn't do a process right. Well, that may be how the engine does it. Yeah. You know, so it's like they're having to rewrite and remake the engine and fix it themselves. When you're using something like Unreal Engine or the Crytek engine, they generally fix all those bugs and you just have to set the process right. Here, if it's done wrong, like they're in charge of fixing it. So you won't just have somebody go and say, oh, I messed up in making this part. They actually have to go back to the engine and fix the whole process from that point on. So that's maybe why we don't see some of these fixes put in.
Now, this reminded me of something I saw earlier in the week from a developer. Let me find this. Yeah, this and I felt like this kind of. I'm not trying to call you out or anything here, Brian, but I just. Okay. But when I read this, you were the first person that came to my mind. So I'm not trying. I know you're not. I hope you're not triggered by this.
Okay, thanks.
So I don't want to trigger you, but this was from Tom Slick, who is one of the developers over there, and this was his tweet. He said, quote, "According to the internet, the only way to fix a hard problem is to throw everything away and start over again." And I know you've been a big proponent of the new engine in that whole system. I have never agreed. I don't think I've ever agreed with anybody at Daybreak more than I agree with that tweet. If you go on Reddit, literally the smallest little issue or any issue at all, it's just redo the entire thing. And people honestly don't understand that is not the solution to the problem at all. You can't just start from slate. If you think you're having a shitty experience now, could you imagine what this game was 2 years ago?
You can move assets over probably. Like you got to think a lot of these things are made in their own proprietary products.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, let's just hit the upgrade button. It's not like upgrading a program and running a thing.
Exactly.
Like, all of their things are done in proprietary manners. Like you just don't change it.
And just and not to justify the why their stuff's proprietary, but you got to remember when they were building games like EverQuest, Crytek was not out. There was no Cry engine in. When did they build the this engine? 2006 or 2008. Crytek wasn't out and at its full force that it was. That they had built engines for EverQuest and stuff like that. There wasn't the amount of stuff that there is now.
Then that was current technology. The problem is they haven't kept it up.
Oh, I agree completely. But
so I mean, when they're building something on DirectX 9, if you're not willing to, DirectX 10 came out, let's start working on upgrading that engine immediately because there was a huge difference between the DirectX 9 and anything above it.
Yeah, there is definitely.
So they should have seen at that point, all right, we either need to move on or we need to keep on top of technology. And that's the beauty of engines. I mean, if you look at what an engine's reason of having an engine is, because before people started making engines for games, is they would go and write from scratch everything.
Yeah,
and they found, well, if we put an engine in the background, we can automate a lot of the physics and a lot of the things that just are always the same. We don't have to rewrite everything from scratch. And here, like the whole thing is supposedly to make the process faster and easier. But I think they've kind of done the opposite with their engine now, is they're making it harder and more difficult just because they haven't kept on it. But they're trying to kind of bandage it, put a Band-Aid on it, make it current.
Exactly.
There's got to be a point that we've accepted that this is always going to be on a Fire or what is it, Forge Light 1, right? This game is going to stay on that. Forget about it moving on. But I just hope they've learned their lesson in like this new project they're coming up with that we've seen in their hiring ads.
Yeah.
Please put it on something else.
And I think they will at this. And I honestly
really
think they will.
Do you?
Yeah, they will at this point, because
with a straight face.
Yeah, no, because they have experienced what the struggles of H1Z1. They've never built Sony Online or Daybreak, whatever you want to call them. They've never built a game like not Daybreak, like H1Z1. So they thought they could go into this using their engine that they've invested, in terms of staff and millions of dollars into this engine, paying people, whatever else. They thought they could do that. They've most definitely learned their lesson. There's no doubt in my mind. But Tom's tweet here, just throw over. If you seriously want a playable game in the next year and a half, you can't be serious with wanting them to
they're in too deep to start over.
But that's the whole point. Is people and somebody makes like a sarcastic comment on here. It's like, oh, you just throw everything away, and of course it'll only take you 4 months to get back to your current space. Like, no, that's not how it works. If they were to start with a brand new engine today, it would probably be a year and a half to get where we are right now, because they'd have to redo everything again.
They'd have to retrain every single person.
Exactly.
How to use all these new technologies.
And that's what these morons on Reddit don't understand. They just think, oh, well, if I just, they should just start. It's just like installing a new program on your computer. It's not. It's not what it's like at all.
I mean, even taking if you tried to take something that was pre-made for Unreal and say, oh, I'm going to upgrade this to Crytek, like even that, which are two very mainstream engines, like you can move some graphics between, but the rest of the stuff isn't written in the same way. Like this is even less of a normal thing. Like this is all
it's their own
stuff
proprietary
that they've
code.
From scratch.
Exactly. So it just, people, our Twitch chat, our viewers, the people on Reddit, you are a total moron to believe that they could just restart the entire project and you would be satisfied with that. No, you'd be bitching the same way you are right now, 8 months from now, when you are seeing, just them walking around in open space and figuring everything out and building a UI. So there you go. You just don't understand. You have clearly have no experience.
Thing though, is if you were to take a whole new development team that was very, they were very capable in like Unreal.
Yeah, you have to fire everybody and hire a brand new staff.
I mean, you could take a whole team and come up with something fairly quickly, probably that's pretty close. But that's the problem, is you would have to fire everyone.
Yes.
I mean, these guys don't understand this program. There would be 6 months of training alone just to get them to where they're like, oh, I'm comfortable like I used to be with this other program, and then let's start making a game. So
exactly. It's just, it's not like opening up a different web browser and just instantly being able to, if you open if somebody knows how to use Chrome, they'll know how to use Firefox. It's instant. It's totally not the same with these engines. And everybody here on Reddit and on Twitter just thinks that scrapping the entire project, they're going to be happy. You're out of your mind.
That's the only thing. I mean, I don't expect them to change that, but I really want them from here on out, as I said. And I'm sure they will. Learn your lesson that it is really hard to do this, and other games are surpassing you in a much shorter amount of time. I I mean, the genre is getting pretty full now of these types of games. Like,
Yeah.
and people are putting them out very quickly now. They may not be exactly the same, but like, look at the Culling. That's a game that's a very similar concept to VR's,
Yeah.
and it's much cleaner, I think, as far as the interface and the gameplay. And from what I can tell, they put that out pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, not knowing the inner workings of it, yeah, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. From
So
chat,
McGrogan,
I think
he says he thinks that the entire genre is failing.
Yeah,
do
don't.
you think that, or falling?
Oh God, yeah.
Failing.
This genre of zombie survival is on it. Survival may be the next
I think they're switching from. I think people are getting over zombies. Personally,
Zombie's over. I mean, zombie was like 2012, 2013.
We've had a decent number. I think that there are still a number of different type of survival games to come out. Like, we're seeing different variations of survival. They're not all the same. I mean, like, we'll be talking a little bit later and giving away the hide and hold out game. That's a unique perspective on a survival game.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at, like, we'll see how a game like the Black Death, that could be a unique take. I mean, it's done in a certain time period, and like, people are sick and whatever. Like, if they do it right, it's its own thing. It's not a copy of another survival game. I just think people need to, if they're going to do a survival game, don't copy and paste the previous one that you really liked.
Yeah.
Like, come up with something different in that genre.
And Gadlaw says, brings up miscreated. Now, of course, you know, the glove doesn't fit every person. Miscreated, if they implement, but I mean, you look at Miscreated right now. They're working on a lot of stuff, but Brian, if you were to say today, I'm gonna build a zombie, like if I'm gonna build like a Daisy mod-esque game today, I think survival is the new way to go. You look at games like Ark, hide and hold out, survival, but it's not a zombie survival game.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, we've seen this 1,000 times. First-person shooters with a big rage between 2006 and 2010, maybe even earlier, 2004 and 2010, 2011, 2012. We constantly go through this in gaming, and with Greenlight and all these games with Kickstarter and Indiegogo and stuff, this is going to keep going faster and faster and faster. This thing, because they're getting burned out. I mean, hundreds of people guarantee have tried to make zombie survival games.
Yeah. Now, how are we supposed to? And you know, there's not like there's an automatic answer to this, but how are we supposed to filter? I think there's so many games like on Greenlight. How do you filter out all of those bad ones and find the good ones? Like, it's making it more difficult for the good ones to be found. It's giving an opportunity for people that can make good ones to be found. But there's so much stuff in there that maybe looks good on the surface, but when they turn around and actually, like, you play it, not what they're promising. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like the Black Death, I've talked about that. If they, you know, within a short period of time, people are expecting a lot, but if they let it continue at the pace like it started at, even though it seems like a good name, a lot of good people are backing it, or big names are backing it, but if it continues at that doesn't matter. Like, you can take somebody who made, what's that one that little kid made? Unturned. Like,
little kid.
I mean, you know, when he started it.
Yeah, I mean, he was 16 when he started it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think, like, he turned around and made something that was better than hopefully his isn't.
Does that make me a little kid too?
Does
that mean you tell your wife like you're doing a podcast with a little kid?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, you're a man now. You're over 18.
I'm a man. Yeah. I just H1Z1 I think is heading in the right direction. They seem to have really, and I think it was the new. Well, let's see. We have a new CEO and then a new. What is Chris Wynn, the executive producer of games or something like that? I think we are starting to head in the right direction. I really do. The fact that they put something on Reddit today that said, "Hey, let's get in here and let's help us test stuff." You could possibly win some Daybreak cash. Somebody is somebody's encouraging them to that. They've been much more active on social media, and I think it's a good sign. So now that we're back to the H1Z1 podcast,
I know we'll go an hour.
40 minutes of this.
Okay, so
far.
do you want to get to the updates?
Okay, yeah,
so let's
do the update. Let's skip the ignition thing.
Okay, so let's do the April 28th update.
You'll do this. I'll do the producer update, and then we'll get this banged out.
Okay, so some of these things I feel like we've talked about before.
We've talked about most of this. So if you want to skim through it, go for it.
I mean, okay, so they did things like the His Regard machete first person attack should be improved. I mean, I didn't know that they were any different than the regular machete. I don't know why they're changing them. You can now repair the AK-47, which I swear we talked about that before. Now the Easy W, which is the wrestling crate, will drop in the game.
Got one on the test server today.
So, yep, players can drop the modded AK-47 from their weapon slot now, which I guess they couldn't do before. You can now repair a makeshift bow reliably, it says, so I assume that's every time. Animals should now give meat and fat when killed with a fire axe. So I guess that was broken. They weren't doing that. Rigged lighting, which you see very little of, should now work more persistently, which I don't know why it just wouldn't work every time now. We talked about the deer scent. I swear we talked about the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
The all-in-one cold medicine description has been updated, indicated only slows, not reduces the amount of H1Z1 virus level rate. So maybe they're going to start implementing more of the H1Z1 virus in again, making that part of the gameplay. Office cabinets should now properly appear in the inventory screen. So I didn't even know, like probably when you're looting them, it wasn't showing you the items that were in the cabinets correctly. So, but I think that's pretty much charcoal burns at 40 minutes now. I mean, just little things like that. They're putting a lot of little things.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure we've covered. So let's get to the producer update. We're going to kind of roll through this because we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. There was a Just Survive producer update this week, and there's just a few things on here that I'm going to run through quick. So they're introducing experimental servers, and what these are is they're servers where they're going to be experimenting stuff. So they're going to be trying out modes. It's going to be pretty much like test servers, but they're calling them experimental servers. They're going to be experimenting with stuff on them. So that's that. Now, a new experimental test server, which is the one that they're going to implement, is no base building plus more zombies. So they're going to turn off the ability to build, but they're going to crank the zombie production up. So there'll be a lot more zombies, no like man-made, or I should say human-made structures in the game, but just a lot more zombies. So if you want to talk about like a sheer like PvE environment, this seems like more like a hardcore PvE because you're just there's just a massive amount of zombies. So that they're going to test that and they're going to see what's going on. Now the next thing here is what you hinted at in that video, Brian, was how the animals were acting.
Yes.
Zombie AI, which is what they use for the zombies right now, it's the way that zombies move, the way it's the AI for the zombies, the artificial intelligence for them. Now, wildlife currently doesn't work on zombie AI. It works on a different, older system, probably pulled from something like PlanetSide or something else like that. So they're going to be, instead of trying to, and this is a step in the right direction. This is why I said this earlier. Instead of trying to botch together that old mechanic, they're going to move the wildlife over to zombie AI, which is just an artificial intelligent system that they can use for anything. So they're going to move stuff over to the...
I mean, kind of similar to what Miscreated did.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know, as far as like, you know, they should be able to use a lot of the similar mechanics. And I think they've learned, okay, we need to make the AI just its own thing that then we can add things to, like animals, zombies, maybe even characters in the future. I mean, it could be they're human characters. It could be something that this is part of them fixing the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember how many problems they used to have with the wolves?
By the way,
the bears.
Yeah, exactly. So everything is going to be acting on this new code base that they're currently working on. This is we've seen the zombie improvements. The zombies are the AI is pretty decent for the zombies now. It's not like it used to be. And soon
they're responsive.
Soon zombies will be able to they'll be aware of bases and structures. So that's what's going on with that. So spawn points. Now this is very controversial, and I'm not let me read this, and then I want to hear your opinions on this, Brian.
Okay.
So they noticed that I did this about 30 times today, people clicking respawn, 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 respawn until they get a decent spawn. So they're added, so the respawn points will only be near point of interest regions now. So the new starting spawn points will be near the villas, dam, radio tower, the wilderness camp, DeSoto truck stop, Wake Hills, Bumjic Farms, Runamuck, Lone Pine, Rancho Taquito, Cranberry, PV, Bubba's truck stop, Hemingway, military base, and the governor's mansion. So you will spawn in some type of radius of all of those points of interest now, because there's some spawn points that are literally in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's nothing near you. You run for 5 minutes before you find anything. So that is I'm not sure what, and they say this in here, and this is the next line. This is kind of what's going on. This is from the developer update. It says, I understand this doesn't mean much for veteran players who know the map in precise detail, but the main goal here is to help new players as well as casual players to get their bearings faster. You spawn with a map and you spawn with a compass in the bottom right hand corner. What more do you need?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, why? Okay. How about we take this to the next level though? Why not take out the respawn command?
At this point,
why not put a cooldown on it?
A cooldown on it, I would be fine with, but
say you can only respawn every 5 minutes.
Every game has most games have a respawn command. A cooldown would be fine, but the problem is right now, if they were to get rid of respawn, half the spawns are in the middle of nowhere. It's totally.
That's what I'm saying. If this makes sense, put a cooldown on it. Make it so that you're going to go to a decent spot. If you do hit respawn, you're going to go to a point of interest or a town or something near a town to where you're not running for 10 minutes, just getting somewhere.
Yeah.
To me, that makes sense. I mean, if you take a look, let's look at Ark, for instance.
Yeah.
They have it in zones to where you pretty much pick a zone. You can almost guarantee that you're going to be within 2 minutes of wherever when you die.
That's the next thing on here, is they say, so if you were to die and you were to respawn, this is something that they're going to maybe throw around on the experimental servers, is that you would see your marker representing your last point of death, and then with that interface you can choose a respawn region to get back into the action at an accelerated pace. I don't know why they're bothering to do this on Z1. This just seems like a lot of wasted time going into. I mean,
they might be able to
map.
They'll probably be able to use the code,
but it's not even the code. It's like, why even implement this? Like, why redo the spawn points
if it's supposedly?
But why respawn
a month or two out?
But why redo? Not even if it's a month or two out. But why redo the spawn points? I mean, we're a year and a half into this game, and now we're redoing the spawn points, even though there's a new map coming out soon.
I think for them, it's probably more about. I think it's more about figuring out what people want. I would assume that's why they're doing this, not for the actual doing of it, but they want to see, is this improving the gameplay? Like, you got to think, like Bloodcore's bringing up the /LOC command.
Yeah.
That was pretty much, you didn't need a compass. You could tell where you're at. They found out, okay, well, that made it a little too easy. So they took it out, and then they see how it affects the gameplay. Now people are just responding like crazy. I would assume that they're just trying to figure out, okay, does this make people respawn less? Okay, well, if that doesn't work, well, then maybe put a cooldown on the respawn timer. I think they're kind of doing it in steps of, all right, well, we thought people would want to be spawned in random locations, but okay, maybe not, because they keep hitting respawn, and what's the point of it if you can type respawn every 2 seconds?
On Z2, if the map is more populated evenly and there's not just vast wastelands of nothing, I don't see that being an issue. But in the current map,
I just
when
think
you've
that
got
they're seeing what people are doing. People are just typing respawn, and that's pretty much the same as this. They're just typing it till they get here.
Yeah, like I did it to try to get closer to PV today. I just kept respawning and respawning and respawning. I mean,
that's the thing, is put a timer on it.
I mean, look at this map. What is in between, like, here and Avram Highway? There's nothing.
Well, I can tell you there's there's one.
Yeah, there's
house.
one. No, there's not. There's the broken bridge, and then there's that one little campground with 4 trailers. That
But go
is
to,
it.
go to the Y in the road. There
Right
is-
here. There's like 4 houses right up
There's
here.
some places right there. There's the 2 houses across the street just south of the Y. At the Y, there's that kind of encampment that's surrounded by the wall, and you pretty much run from south down there to the road.
But that's it.
Or you go west, and there's the bridge. Or you go west, kind of southwest, and go to the PV subs. Like there's nothing else in between those.
No, there's between Hunter Drive, and I've said this 1,000 times. Any old listeners will probably deja vu with this. There is nothing between Avram Highway and Hunter Drive. They're at the middle of the map. There's nothing there. It's a river and a bunch of random little campsites. There's
So when
nothing
you
useful.
spawn out, when you spawn out in the middle of nowhere, there
You respawn.
yeah, just you're like I don't feel like running for 5-10 minutes. All right, respawn.
Yeah, exactly. You run for 10 minutes.
Okay,
to get
this
the
is a
PV.
2-minute run. I'll do this.
Exactly. So I think the solution is build the map with the respawn stuff in mind.
Yeah.
Because the way the map is currently built leads to this. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If they didn't have, I'm trying to remember the numbers. Is that 5 through 8 or something like that? Like that zone of 5 through 8 on the side.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. The south part of the map, at least on West Greenhorn, there's a lot of stuff there. There's the Wake Hills Hamlet. There's a bunch of little towns. There's DeSoto. But to the north, there's nothing. Hunter Drive is a barren wasteland between Rancho Taquito and Zims. There's 2 or 3 little encampments, and that's it. So the solution to the respawn command, in my opinion, is to just populate the map a little more intelligently now that they know that that's an issue. Because with Z1, I doubt they thought of that being as big of a deal.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's a little bit better here. So there's that, and then they just talk. He just mentions how Z2 will be implemented in King of the Kill before Just Survive. So that's that, and that's the producer update. And wow, that's 58 minutes.
Yeah,
worth
sorry.
of H1Z1. No, it was good. It was a good conversation. We haven't talked about H1Z1 for a while.
Let's cover ARC for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then we'll do our first game giveaway.
Go for it.
All right, so 239.3. So this was on the 27th. It was earlier, almost a week ago. They fixed timeouts when downloading large quantities of mods. So when you would, like, let's say a server has a bunch of mods, some of them can be a couple hundred megabytes. It would cause an issue. It would time out. So they put out a patch to fix that. And then other than that, like that was the only PC patch. They had an ETA of an update today, and they moved it to tomorrow. Because they're looking at doing 240, which is going to have a lot of things in it. So I'd assume that's, they're trying to squeeze some of those more things in there, because they are doing the runes and explorer nodes, trying to get some of the lore in there. And if you go to the last thing I have, there's the Dragon Arena I know that they're working with.
Yes.
And there's a screenshot of that, and it actually looks pretty cool, I think.
Let's see. Oh, the link is not loading. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is a...
So this is kind of like a boss. Yeah, it's a Dragon Arena.
Yeah.
That they're doing. So it's kind of like a raid. You can get a group of people together, and they can go try to take down the dragon.
Yeah, so now this is going to be in Survival Evolved, right? Not, or is
This will be in the regular map.
Okay.
Yeah. So now they may be able to have some special kind of a PvP thing, but I don't see them doing anything like that in their PvP module. So
the Ender
I think
Dragon.
this is going to be.
It's the Minecraft Ender
like
Dragon.
Minecraft.
It all comes full circle to Minecraft somehow.
Now I was gonna talk a little bit more about the test, but we've talked about that. So hopefully next week we'll have a very large amount of patch notes for this big patch that they're doing.
Yeah.
Been kind of a slow week, but usually that's an indication that they are putting a lot of things in the patch.
Yeah, there you go.
So and then let's go ahead and we'll do the first giveaway, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm Brian. I'm always ready.
Okay. All right. So this one is called To the Moon, and it has incredible reviews. So the code word is going to be moon. Of course, all lowercase. You got to remember We don't put capitalization in there, and because for some reason this plugin doesn't understand
You
that.
just need to find a better plugin.
I looked today, and it's one of the only ones out there.
All right.
I mean, I was like, there's got to be something, but it is on GitHub. So if I really wanted to, I could fix it. Like I could say, accept all capitalization of this.
Yeah, I feel like.
But then if they update it, it overwrites it, and just.
I think it's fine the way it is.
So if you look, overwhelmingly positive. This has a very
Yes.
good review on it. Now, here's something different that I saw. It says recent reviews and overall reviews. Have you ever seen that before on the Steam page?
I don't know. I don't buy any. I rarely buy games.
But on the upper right, where it has reviews, like mine has 2 lines.
You don't know.
I
I've never
seen that
I don't think
before.
I've ever seen that either. This is what Brian's talking about. This thing right here. No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I mean that must be something new.
You know what though? This is nice for greenlit games that were really crappy in the beginning.
Have they made
exactly?
Maybe that's what it's for. Because what if early on there's some games that have horrible ratings, but it's because when they first put it out, like there was a lot of bugs. They were fixing
it was
things.
They should.
What if it was like H1Z1 where it had, overall rating moderate, but then recent rating horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they can turn it around, this encourages a game company to try to turn things around, because people can judge you by but recently it's overwhelmingly positive. That's a good sign for any game.
Exactly. So that's a good thing. Enter Moon in chat for that. Now the next thing,
lowercase, it's got to be lowercase.
Yes, Moon. The next thing here is H2O Hide and Hold Out, which our next giveaway. We're giving away 2 copies of that, so that's later on in the show.
And we'll be giving away some more over the coming weeks.
Yeah,
as well.
so we've got that going on. So this is Hide
and we're working on getting an interview with them.
Yes, as well.
So that we'll not necessarily have them on the show because English isn't their native language. So we figured that wouldn't be good to throw them out to the wolves here. But we'll record a segment where we interview them, ask them some questions, and then we'll put it on the show so that you can get to know a little bit about the people that actually made the game. So.
Exactly. So there was just one big update this week. Well, not even a big update, just one update to push to this. So the admin commands,
server issues.
Yeah, exactly. The admin commands return more informations to the users.
I said English isn't their native language.
All the characters are now available when writing in the game console. So I would imagine probably the tilde and stuff like that was not available earlier. That's all available now. They added a new server command, daily restart hour UTC, so that you can restart the server on at the top of an hour, top of a UTC hour. And then the official server ping perfect France is back in the official server list. So that's there you go. Those are the improvements for this.
And they're still working on this. So this is early alpha. They've been out for a couple weeks now, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a month or so, maybe
3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow their development, they actually have a Trello that lets you see things that their concepts that are working on, what's going to be in the next update. All of this is laid out in the Trello.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to give them some feedback, you can go in there and vote for different ideas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of development companies that have been doing this. So if you want to be involved, or if you say, hey, I really like this game, but I'd like to see whatever, when a game company's like this is the perfect place. You can go in there and put a suggestion in. If it doesn't get taken, it kind of drifts to the bottom of the list. But if it becomes popular, a lot of people vote for it. It goes to the top, and then the developers know, okay, let's work on this.
Yeah. Fat Broken Ugly is saying that all the foreign developers are taking our job. There you go.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so you can follow him on Trello.
Except for developers can work from their house. So, so if I'm an American down in Jamaica, and I'm working from there, am I still an American developer?
I'm not sure.
Oh, those Jamaicans are taking their jobs.
Yeah, of course. You're on vacation, and somehow you're taking the jobs. The Black Death. Now, this is the chivalry / survival game that we've been talking about, that you've been following. It looks like pretty closely. So what's going on with that?
All right, so they're putting out a lot of bug fixes now, so they are paying attention. A lot of the little things that just are like, why in the world did they, remember last week we're pretty much saying why in the world didn't they notice this? Um, so they've gone through like one thing that I noticed immediately is when you're running around and you move your character your mouse down so that you can see,
Mhm.
like the player's head is looking at the ground the whole time and running forward like someone who's just looking to get a concussion. So they made it so that when even though you're kind of looking around, like your character isn't staring at the ground. Just little things like that. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. Like you didn't notice this making the game that the guy is constantly looking at the ground the whole time. Um, they've been fixing just like duplication bugs, exploits they've been finding now that people are starting to use it, crafting issues because like you couldn't even craft cloth correctly before. They're fixing a lot of sounds and just bugs with like the landscape and the foliage optimization because it was causing lag. It's a huge list. So I mean, we'll have a list on here
Yeah.
of all of these, but they've done a lot of fixing. So I'm gonna have to go in this week and play it again and see if it's actually playable because I'm kind of curious. What I was thinking
Will you be able
before
to
is
open
that
doors this time? Is the
yeah, I was thinking I was
$1 million
playing in
question.
offline mode, and that's why I had such an awkward experience with it. I'm assuming that's what was happening.
Well, we'll
But the
see.
fact that I could run around and play in offline mode is pretty scary.
Yeah. So report back, and we'll have
I'll let you. Yeah, I'll go in there and play it now that they've fixed some of these things, and we'll try it out.
yeah. You want to roll for our prize here?
Sure. All right. So the winner is BK Deltor,
There you go.
who is he's listening. I don't know about every week, but almost every week.
Yeah.
I do know some, so thank you for listening.
Fan of the show, or friend of the show.
I don't know if he really likes us. He's here.
We have free games. I mean, why would you not be here? It's the only reason half the people listen.
So remember, just look in your other. It'll be in other inside of Twitch.
Yep, there you go. Now, Elite Dangerous. Now, this is the game that our friend Landgun invested like $200 on a flight stick to
Yes.
play.
And he has been playing it. So
What about you? Did you you were looking at this? Did you buy one?
I didn't buy the. No, I didn't buy the flight stick.
Okay.
But I
You
still
were
do
you-
really like this game.
But you were very close to buying the flight stick.
Yes, it's still on my wish list. So it may happen in the future, and we'll see. They're getting ready, and that's one of these things that I put in here. On May 5th, they're putting out the beta for Engineers 2.1, which is going to add more gameplay elements to this. I've been kind of waiting for these new patches to come out, so there's a little bit more to the game to where, like, I can play with somebody and they can actually be in my ship.
There you go.
To me, that just seems like it's a better way of doing it. To where when you're playing together, it's not like we have to keep so much track of flying next to each other. But they did put out, they've been putting out notifications about what's coming, and they put out a pretty big patch. I mean, it's a mix of Xbox and all these other things, but they are putting out a lot of fixes. They're putting out, like there's Arena, which they've been putting everything into like the Xbox version, but there are some fixes they've been doing the regular version. But I think that's a lot of that's getting prepared for this new version that's going to be coming out, that's going to be adding engineers, so you can actually have a vendor in your that lets you make upgrades to your ship and do special things for your ship. And then later they're going to be doing the multi, like I can get a big ship and then have you be one of the gunners, or you can have a special role in the ship and we actually fly around together. So that's the kind of thing I'm waiting for, so that I actually can play with people, because it's such a big universe. It's hard to play with people and actually stay with them, because you get lost and you're flying different places. It's a huge galaxy.
Then a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is I want to play it. And we have one of our listeners who's getting really far. He sends me messages every once in a while. He's been really into it, and he's been playing a huge amount of hours and discovering things that no one else, like when you get to a planet and discover it the first time,
Yeah.
you actually get an achievement for it. So he sends me, I got this achievement. I gone to, some star cluster that no one else has.
Seems like
So there's a lot. So he's got to be putting in a lot of time to have that happen.
I think that's going to be happening with No Man's Sky. It's going to be kind of that similar, which I'm sure you're getting. That seems like a game that's right up your alley. So, by the way,
we'll see. I mean, I think that's going to be very similar. So, that's another genre that's just coming to a head right now. It'll be interesting to see
the space like ish. It's
the
not,
whole
but
space thing.
but it seems like the more casual cartoony space simulator. Like there's been space simulator.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see
What's
we'll
it's
see
like No Man's
how they
Sky
flush out.
No Man's Sky is very cartoonish compared to like Robert Space Industries game, the Elite Dangerous.
And I don't know which one's going to be more popular.
No Man's Sky seems like it's going to be insane once that
There's
comes
a lot
out.
of hype, but we'll have to see what actually happens once it's released.
Yeah, definitely. So, real quick note: the Humble Bundle Monthly, which is the Mad Max edition, ends in 2 days. So
if you want to, and they'll be announcing the additional.
Yes. By the way, you do have to buy it in the next 2 days, though, or you don't have a choice to buy it. There's no leeway period, so buy it in the next 2 days if you want Mad Max and like 4 or 5 other games. So.
Yeah, they're showing as if it's going to be 6 other games with the boxes that are on there. Well, actually, there'll probably be 4 other games because that's the boxes you can see. So I think there's going to be a total of 5 games in this next one.
There you go. So there you go. That's that. And then, what is this? So the Engineer 2.1 beta is coming out May 5th.
So yeah, that's going to be the new content patch.
Okay.
So what they've got it already planned. So the spring of 2016 Engineers. They're doing another one in summer 2016, and then in the fall winter of 2016, they're doing another one that's adding big things to the game. It's like additional content. It's not just fixes and things like that. So this is going to be their next big update. And so I don't have Horizons right now. I've been waiting for these to come out, and then I'll probably get Horizons, which lets you land on the planets and do all these extra things inside the game.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, Miscreated. This is huge, even though it's a tweet. And I had to keep track of it through the week.
Okay.
This is a huge tweet. If you look
140 characters, but it's a huge tweet.
Yes, but it says did testing with 50 clients last night on the new relevance, which I've been talking about. Network code only needs 3 to 5% of the bandwidth that the default CryEngine SDK needs. That's been the whole problem that I've been talking about. They can't do an inventory system inside of Miscreated right now because of the relevance. System isn't implemented. Now that they're testing it, 3 to 5% of the bandwidth usage, like it's using only 3 to 5% of what right now it's currently using to do 50 clients.
Yeah,
which is huge.
So that you're talking 200, 300, 400 people on a server.
Yes, and then you'll be able to have inventory like storage boxes. They'll have it to where when you can actually loot zombies and loot items. Right now, things are kind of just setting out. That's because of the issue with the relevant system. They'll be able to actually have storage, which includes like opening up a drawer and looting something. That's going to make a huge difference in this game as far as how it's played. So this was just a tweet that he put out saying they tested it. And probably most people don't even know what he was talking about. But this is going to be, I think, what really makes this game start to come out.
I'm excited then because this game has got, like Gadlaw mentioned, this game has definitely got some potential. They just need... They just need to get this stuff sorted out, and not to get back to the whole engine war, but like this is example something that the CryEngine doesn't have down clearly.
Yeah,
the net code. I mean, the fact that they had
to write it all from scratch.
Yeah, but the fact that they were able to write it from scratch and be used 3 to 5%.
That shows you, the CryEngine is
how awful it is.
I wonder if they can turn around and give that code to CryEngine and say, "Here, fix your engine."
Yeah, it's not a bash on CryEngine, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if they're kind of getting themselves put in a corner though. Like, how much custom code do you want to do on? They're on probably the 3 point whatever version of CryEngine. They're on the previous release.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're really actively working to get it up to the current version, which has DirectX 12 support and all that.
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess if they haven't hit a roadblock, who knows?
Just like, is all this code they're writing, is that made? Is that, pretty much made for the version that they're on? Are they not going to be able to carry that forward? I'm wondering if they're writing it in a manner that's going to be upgraded. I would hope that they're going to make it so that it goes to the new version, because Crytek made quite a few enhancements in this newer version. They kind of gave Amazon there, like, here's our old version, and then they
give
came
this
out
away
with
for free. Exactly.
Yeah, they gave some. They started with something way better on their new one. They pretty much saved all that technology till they sold the old technology, and they said, "Oh, well, don't use that one. Here's one that's better."
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. If they're working with CryEngine, hope the stuff should be
And that's what I'm
easily
saying. They should be
upgradable.
really working with them because I mean, CryEngine keeps. If you look at some of the posts that CryEngine has
They're
made,
streaming all. I went on Twitch today. They were
yeah, they
streaming how to
talk
make
about
something.
Miscreated. It's like one of their flagships. Like
Yeah,
look at our game or look at our engine. Here's Miscreated. Like they got to be saying they got to be working hand in hand.
you would think.
Saying, all right, let's get you the new version. Also, like here's some code we wrote that will really make your engine better. Like work together on this.
Yeah.
So,
There
because
you
then
go.
they can just implement it into the new engine, and they don't have to worry about porting it over. You know, as far as that, whatever they wrote for now, like have Crytek put it in the actual engine.
Exactly.
So
Now there was a Hurt World update, which Hurt World is like the TF2.
now this game, were you expecting more from this? I mean, there was so much hype. Talking about hype.
The sad part is I came very close to buying it, and I'm really, really glad I didn't. Not that the game isn't good, but I mean, have you heard anything about it since it? I mean, we've talked about it maybe like once a month.
You don't hear people like, oh, this really cool thing happened in Hurt World.
Yeah, it's got a lot of cool stuff. It's got a car system built in that I'm pretty sure was in from day one. It's like a TF2. It's like a cartoonish Mad Max almost, but it's multiplayer. And I don't know. I mean, you own it, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't. I thought you owned this one too. Okay.
No, I saw these people saying, "Oh, you should get this," and I was like, "I'll just give it a little bit of time." And then I saw, like, the enthusiasm for it drop so quickly.
Cheap version of Rust.
Like,
there you go. With cars. Yep. There you go. It's on sale right now. It's 40% off. You can get it for $14.99. $30 is a lot or $25 is a lot for this game. So
yeah,
there you go.
But they have a pretty big, like, they don't have regular patch notes.
No,
so
they don't.
Their notes aren't really like, here's what we put in.
It's just kind of like an overview.
It's kind of like, okay, we did some of these things, but also here's concepts and here.
Yeah.
So it's more just like they put in there a dev blog.
But we're keeping it up to date, and if you're interested, you can.
Yeah, we'll have it in the notes so you can go check it out because they are implementing some better things. Like they're enhancing some of the graphics and the way that their city works, and I'll have a link. They don't have individual posts, but it'll go to the Hurt World website, and the first post that should be on there should be the latest one.
Yeah, there you go. So check that out, infectionpodcast.com. Now, Division, which another game I'm almost glad I didn't kind of get into because it's
go all in on.
The issue with this game is it requires other people to play, and then when other people aren't playing, I mean, Brian, I think you've experienced this firsthand now.
Well, I mean, I've been playing with Laura, so she's
do you
been
play
really into it.
You play every week?
Well, she just finished her final thing for her masters, so this past week we haven't, but we were playing it every week before that.
Okay. So you are actively playing. Like I'm not sure the last time.
But we're pretty much doing the single player mode together. Like we're not I mean, we've gone into the dark zone, but like you'll see here in this article, there's a huge amount of cheating that's been happening lately.
Well, I mean, the cheating was rampant. The cheating was rampant in the beta or the public beta that
when they did the tests. So what they're going to be doing is handing out a huge amount of bans inside of Division. So what they'll be doing first, they have a new detection method that they're implementing. So the first time that you get caught, you get a 14-day ban. If you get caught cheating again, then it goes to an additional. It says because before they were doing a 3-day initial suspension, which we saw. Remember in H1Z1, isn't that what they kind of did?
Something like that.
At first, you get caught cheating and then they'd ban you for 3 days. So now they're doing the 14 days, and then the second offense is always a permanent ban. It's not like you can, like with H1Z1 where you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, can I make an apology video or something?" Like it's a permanent ban.
Yeah, that was great. So that is
and now, so yeah, that's going to be that's just an announcement of they're actually going to be dealing, because I think that they got caught off guard a little bit with the amount of cheaters. I mean, a lot of games online we see this.
I don't understand how. I don't see how the beta was so filled with hackers.
Yeah.
How could they possibly been caught by? How could they have not had a clue that this
was going to happen?
That this was going to happen? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does that make any sense to you, Brian? Like how they could have honestly thought that, like,
and this is a major development company.
This is Ubisoft. Hello, Far Cry.
I mean, they've got to be aware of this sort of stuff way early on. You know, it has been. I mean, how long has it been out? A month, maybe a month and a half, I think. So I'm just surprised week 2, and maybe they have been working on it a while. Maybe this is going to be an excellent anti-cheat system. They're like, okay, if we're going to do it, let's do it right.
Yeah.
That is a possibility, but I'm hoping that this is going to pretty much take care of it once and for all, to where you can go and play in there. And because that's the issue with this game, is other players have the ability to kill you, take what you were getting ready to get, and then they have it permanently.
Yeah,
it doesn't go back and forth. Like once they get it and send it off in the chopper, they have it. And so there is a real benefit to cheating. It's because you can just pretty much kill everyone, get the best loot, send it back to yourself, and just be stacked.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you can't really lose what you've gotten. So
I would imagine that they've already talked about the deal. I think this is going to be a game that is kind of, it is survived by its DLC. Like I believe that it's every time that they release kind of the similar thing that Call of Duty deals with later on in its lifespan, where like the DLC is like what gives you like a rush of players to play. I think that's what this is going to be. So,
here they put out. The next incursion is coming this month. So they're going to be putting out the next, because this is, as you said, this is one where they're going to be putting out consistent enhancements, updates, new content.
Yeah,
and they're going to have to do it pretty regularly, because as they found in the first 24 hours of the game being out, people were hitting max level already. You know, and that's pretty tough. So if they can, I think that this one's going to be more focused on PvE. It's going to be actually like questing type of content, not dark zone content or anything like that. It says to get into this new content, though, you have to have a gear score of at least 220. So there is a little bit of a grind.
Yeah,
that you have to do. You can't just walk right into this. So it's not like, oh, I've hit max level and now I'm going to go do this content. You actually have to have a certain gear level. So you have to make sure that you're doing a little bit of work. You may have to go into the dark zone to get to that gear score, and then you'll be able to do this new content.
Exactly. So I hope people are excited by this stuff, and I hope the DLC gets people in.
Yep. So I enjoy it. Like the environment of the game, the way it feels, I really enjoy. So if they can continue to grow it and make it, like, 'cause there's so much they could do with this. I mean, look at how much graphics, like just how many assets, and making it look real. Like they put a ton of work in this game.
Oh yeah.
It'd be suck if people say, oh, there's too many cheaters, or, oh, I've hit max level and I'm done. Like they could still take this a long ways. Keeping in hand, there's a lot of the city to grow out. Like they're in a certain section of New York. They can keep growing it out and increasing the levels and kind of treat it like WoW. If you look at WoW, you keep just raising the level caps and keep growing the game. So now, speaking of WoW,
I'll let you. I'm going to put you full screen here. You can have the floor. I'm going to go grab an ice cream or something.
Okay, yeah. So this is something that came up pretty recently, that this group had made a legacy WoW server. So they had made it so you could pretty much play WoW where it was at its heyday. So if you think of the heyday of WoW,
heyday for you.
Well, this is pretty much the consensus, is that around the time of 2005-ish, I mean, you could say before that there were some really hard raids. That was a good time, but those were 40-man raids. It was very much a hardcore game at that time. And then some really good content came around 2005-ish that people really liked. And then people feel that it's really gone downhill. Just as they've released new content and made the game easier, trying to, I guess, accommodate maybe the younger audience or the more casual audience, whatever it is, they've changed that. So this group came out with this server that was the legacy WoW, and Blizzard got mad about it. and I think they shut them down, or I'd have to read what they did exactly, but they actually arranged to have a meeting with Blizzard. So Blizzard is having them come to their office, and they're going to have a sit down with Blizzard. And I'm hoping that this means, I know this would be bad for the show because I'll try not. I'll just say I'll try not to play it. But if they were to come out with to where you could play at that time, and maybe kind of split the expansions off and say, hey, all right, we're going to come up with one that's more this style, and then we'll have their easy mode version of WoW. This would be huge.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing that there's a huge number of people, and that's a lot of money that they're missing out on. I mean, they had 250,000 people sign a petition to get Blizzard to support these legacy servers.
Now, this is kind of unrelated, but it's not unrelated, but they just announced a new Call of Duty this week. And part of that bundle is for $80, $20 extra, you can get what they call Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, which is a remaster of Call of Duty 4. Yeah. We are starting to see now, by the way, this has been asked for the COD community forever, but this stuff is, like, we're starting to see these games that are, when's that peak part of...
Probably about 2005-ish.
2005. See, COD 4 was like 2006, I believe. 2006, I believe. No, maybe a little bit.
The market wasn't so saturated.
Exactly.
Right?
So I think we're going to see a lot of remasters coming up soon.
Yeah, these companies were able to put more time into those games. Nowadays, they're so rushed. Like, if you're not done with the game in 6 months, they're like, well, what's going on? Like, from when the public knows about it to where it's released. Like, back then, they could take a year or 2 years and work on a game and release it when it was done. And you'd get these games that are just awesome. Well, the problem is now they're being pushed like, oh, we got to put out an update. We got to put all this new content. But I just think because so many people are spread between so many games, these companies probably aren't getting as much money as they used to for the amount of work that they put in.
Well, yeah, but now they've got stuff like season passes and all this other nonsense.
I mean, they're trying to get as much money or the microtransactions, which drive me crazy. But if you look at some of those older games, content was awesome. They're just on older technology. They don't look as good.
Yeah.
So now they can take some of a lot of the old work that they did. Maybe it was lore, storyline, whatever it is that made that game so good. And if they can put it into a newer engine and re-release it, you got to think there's a whole new generation that didn't experience that. Yeah. You got to think people that were playing 10 years ago. I mean, that was 10, 11 years ago. You weren't playing the same games that I was back 10, 11 years ago.
I was playing RuneScape.
Yeah, you're always playing RuneScape. Yeah, but for you, when I say, "Oh, this game was awesome," well, if you're going to go back and take a look at that game, you're going to be like, "Oh, this isn't any good," because it looks
like,
so
for
bad.
example, you could for example, I remember, God, this is a while back. I don't know if Falcon's watching, but Falcon and I were talking about. He was talking about how EverQuest, how he used to play that, like with his brother and everything. Like their whole family would play. There is EQ99, but I go back and I look at EQ99. I'm like, this is garbage. Like, why would I play EQ99 today unless I'd already played it?
You're playing it for nostalgia.
Exactly. If you've already played it, but like he's saying, a remaster of EverQuest. Rip my life.
So Falcon says remaster original EverQuest, rip.
Yeah, I mean, just quit your job and just
There's so much content there, though. Like, and I've talked about this before. I don't want to rehash it, but like my original RPG experience was EverQuest. Like that for me was such a new experience. If they could recapture that, let me go back to the places that it was without having such a lousy interface, without the graphics being so bad compared to today's standards, right? And I mean, that would be a huge thing for Daybreak to do. Like, why aren't they thinking of that? Like, you want to make some money.
Yeah.
Re-release, even if you did it on the current engine, Forge Light, like they could make the original EverQuest look more decent on Forge Light.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that could be their next project is, hey, we're going to pick a new engine. Let's re-release EverQuest and make it look modern. They can make so much money.
Falcon would lose his job. unfortunately, if that was to happen.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, I'm sick. I can't come to work today.
Sorry, I'm sick permanently. I'm going to need... I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think remaster is going to be the next thing. Let's see. What else do we have here? We've got... do you want to do give another giveaway?
Let's announce the next giveaway.
Right,
so this one is going to be hide and hold out. So the developers were nice enough to give us some keys. So we actually got 5 keys for this. And if you don't get them today, we'll give away, I think, maybe 1 next week or 2 next week, and then either 1 or 2 the week after that.
Yeah. So this is the. Do you have that code ready?
Yes. So the code is hold.
Okay. So
all lowercase.
This is the plan, and I want to thank Ross, our friend Ross Eraser. He works during the show, and he's like, "Oh man, we only give out stuff live." So we have 5 copies. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 copies this week. Okay. We're going to do a copy Friday night during Overwatch. So if you really want a copy and you're listening to this show now, be around Friday night. Be around Friday night, and we'll do like a random number generator or something like that.
I can use my plugin.
Well, people won't be in the Twitch chat, but I'm saying in TeamSpeak, throw a number in the chat and they'll randomly generate it, something like that. We're going to give
just have everybody pull up Twitch and vote.
We'll figure it out.
If they're playing with us,
it's not a big deal. We'll do a draw Friday night, so we'll give away 1 copy Friday night, and then 2 more copies next week.
Okay. That works.
So yeah, I really want to thank the Hide and Hold Out team for giving us those keys. I was pumped when we got the email earlier in the week about some copies of that. So that's super cool. So you have 5 chances to win this game. So we'll do 2 rolls today, 1 roll Friday, 2 rolls next week. So. That's Hide and Hold Out. Now, we'll get into everybody's favorite segment of the show. I know it's Brian's favorite segment, and it's current players. So currently playing H1Z1 combined. This is both Just Survive and King of the Kill. 10,301. The 24-hour peak for that is 15,679, and the 7-day peak 20,390. Now, the Just Survive numbers they're atrocious. Currently playing that 3,544. The 24-hour peak didn't even break 5,000, so 4,648, and the 7-day peak just barely over 6,000, 6,033. But they are working on stuff, and
it seems like they're just starting. I mean, if they start releasing some of the stuff that they've been showing, like in all of these art directors posts he's been doing. Sebastian he shows a lot of stuff that we are not seeing in game.
Yeah.
And so like they could just start rolling that out and people would start playing again. Like, so, okay. The idea of them suspending the base building, great. I think that not having that toxic atmosphere would make people want to play more.
Yeah. I think we are about to enter a golden age of H1Z1 Just Survive. They have been working on so many things behind the scenes, and we're starting to see it now with these art wraps. They're getting way more active. I honestly think, and I know I'm the pessimist. I mean, you don't need to tell me that. I've totally converted Brian to be an H1Z1 hater over the past 68 episodes. But I honestly...
You've been a bad influence.
I've been a bad influence. I honestly think we're about to enter a really, really exciting phase
if
for
they
H1Z1.
implement it right.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. The ball is in their court now.
Yeah,
and they can just start like. I mean, I talked earlier about the UI. Wouldn't that be an amazing start? Just like, hey, we're rolling out an improved UI. Like that would be a good step 1. And then the next week say, all right, we're implementing this new feature. Like just keep rolling. Even if you have some of them ready to go, roll them out to keep the hype going, keep people playing from week to week.
Yeah. Now, this other thing, Supercar Fan is saying that he's going to start playing when they release those new base building servers, which I know a lot of people are really interested in. Z2, we are about to enter the point. Z2 is, I don't know, 6, 8, maybe 12 months away, but there's going to be build up before that. They're redoing the spawn system, folks. This is this is serious. I think this is a very we're about to enter a very big and important age for H1Z1 Just Survive. I honestly think
they're finally
think
taking it seriously.
They are. I think
they haven't taken survival.
I finally
seriously
think
up
somebody
at this point.
came in and gave them a swift kick in the behind and said, "You got to get your act together because this game is a failure."
Someone probably reminded them that, okay, King of the Kill, great, but do you realize that there's so many other games on the market that are very similar to where it's only going to go down from here? Like with the culling, like people are taking that idea and improving on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for them to maintain a good placement of King of the Kill when Call of Duty comes out. Like the reason like Call of Duty and all these other games are so popular is because they're constantly putting out new versions.
Exactly.
The old Call of Duties aren't the ones that are on the top of the charts.
No, but no, I mean it will be now with Modern Warfare Remastered, but
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like this King of the Kill, like, okay, sure, it's new now, but you got to think a year from now.
Exactly.
Are people going to be playing it still?
Exactly. And speaking of King of the Kill,
it's going to lose its lifespan.
Speaking of King of the Kill, currently playing that 6,757, the 24-hour peak 11,031, the 7-day peak 14,357. Now, how about some uplifting numbers here? Ark Survival Evolved, currently playing that 28,618. The 24-hour peak for that is 44,870. The 5-day peak for that, man, almost 60,000. That's insane. 58,833. That's insane. Yep. For Ark. That's Survival Evolved. And then for Survival of the Fittest, which is just, even though they did the thing at PAX East, it just doesn't seem to be grabbing any traction. This may be, first, 1,102, currently playing that. The 24-hour peak for that is 1,852, and the 7-day peak, 2,716. I do believe they are saving Survival of the Fittest, and it's kind of on their back burner, and then they're eventually just going to kind of like punch everybody in the face with it and be like, hey, this is our new game mode.
Okay, so
this is our
what about, okay, so I think personally what they're going to do is release do like a tournament, a huge tournament with a huge amount of prize money, get the big streamers to where they're going to have to start getting better at this game if they're going to want to win some money in it, or at least be able to compete. I mean, if you look at who won that last tournament at PAX, it was like a 12-year-old kid. It was a little kid.
Yeah,
it was.
Everybody's a little kid because you're an old man.
No, I swear. Like, you got to think, this kid, he was like 12, and he's the one he won. He won the whole tournament. So, I mean, if you look at that demographic, like if someone like Seas or Summit are going to try to be competitive in this, they're going to have to practice because there's more skill to this game. It's not just a click and shoot.
Yeah, this is like a hardcore. This is like super hardcore survival, with dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and
lasers seriously
and crazy stuff.
But I think for the numbers to go up, they're going to have to get some of those big streamers to start talking about it and showing it and playing it. And I think if you can offer a big enough tournament where they say, all right, I better start playing this, like they did with H1Z1, right? Yeah. Some of them started really playing it consistently when the tournament came out. So I think that could be the turnaround for this, is when they do the first, like, we're doing a huge tournament, there's $100,000 worth of prizes, whatever it is, that they would be able to do it. And that would make it to where all of a sudden, like, everybody wants to play it. It's free to play.
Exactly. That's the weirdest part, isn't it? It's free. I just don't think they have not promoted it at all. PAX East was the first time I've ever seen them actually be like, "Hey, this is a thing."
Maybe they don't feel it's ready yet. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. They're going to wait, and once they're ready, they're gonna do exactly what they've got. So many, Brian. They had 60,000 people playing Ark at one point this weekend almost. I mean, when they're ready, they're gonna be able to say, "You guys need to go play this." And people are going to start flocking to it like crazy.
If you play this, like, there's something you can possibly win that goes into your regular game.
There you go. Exactly.
Imagine how many people would be doing.
They're gonna get this ironed out, and it's gonna be super cool. It's gonna be like King of the Kill, but just with dinosaurs and like.
Yeah, because imagine if they said, all right, you could get a special dinosaur skin.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's in the regular servers, or you can get, whatever it is. You can get this skin that's only available through playing our PvP game.
Yeah.
And the people that don't even have it installed right now will turn around and install it and at least play it for a week
Yeah.
Yeah, but out of 60,000 people active players, that's a huge amount of people.
Even if they could get 5,000 players at a time, which is more than what H1Z1 Just Survive can pull in a week. So that's just insane. So that is current players. Let's do this. So we're gonna do one hide and hold out key now.
Okay.
Then you want to do your tip, and then we'll do another one just to kind of split it up a little bit. So you can enter the word hold. There's got to be a bunch of people entered in that.
Yes.
So yeah, do one now, and then the audio is probably going to be screwed up for the intro. I just realized that. But,
all right, so it's Judd.
We'll try.
It's Judd has won this last one, and he's a fan of the show.
He's a friend of the show.
Oh, friend of the show. That's the word.
Winner chicken dinner for him.
Yeah. So I will send this first code to him. So
it's rigged. Yes.
Yeah,
I believe PHVCK said when we were playing H1Z1 earlier that he was definitely going to win it this week. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to win a key" or something like that. So he's feeling a little rigged here.
Okay, well maybe he'll win the next.
Because
one.
Judd's a mod, so it's it picks the mods over other people. So Brian, what do we have going on here?
All right, so tip of the week is where I go through and give you either a tip, a gaming tip, something that'll help you in a specific game, or possibly just in playing survival games in general, or it could even be a general gaming tip. So this is something that I've done now for 68 weeks in a row.
I don't think you did it the first week.
Oh, maybe
we'll have to go back. We'll have to go back to the historical archives of Infection Podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many weeks officially in a row I have done tip of the week. But this is tip of the week. A little bit different tip than what I have been doing previously, but this one to me made sense. So, maybe you have a hard time keeping in shape with all the games that you come and play on a weekly basis. So I thought, well, this would be kind of fun. You could turn fitness into a game with like Zombies Run. It's a game that I have on my phone, and it's an actual running game. We talked about H1Z1 being a running simulator. This is kind of the opposite. So what they do in Zombies Run is they actually have, you put it on your phone, which has GPS, and they have a story that you follow. So you can start walking. You don't have to run. You can do it on a treadmill, whatever you want to do. But you start walking, and the story will say, oh, there's zombies, or you have to collect items. So if you go different paces and you do different things as you're running, and it's like survival. It actually is a survival game because you collect materials to upgrade your base. You rescue survivors. You just do different. It's a lot of fun. It has excellent voice acting. They have one that will train you for if you want to do a short distance race, or if it's just a daily run that you do. But it's a Zombies Run game. So I know people don't like to. Some people don't like to leave their computer room, but if you're going to do it, you might as well make it worth it. And this is an excellent way to do it. But it is, I've gone through and listened to a number of the things. It's professionally voice acted, excellently made app. You can have music that plays. So like between the segments, it's kind of like a radio drama in a way. So between when the story's being told in the game, it'll play your favorite music from a playlist on your phone. But it's definitely, if you're into running or walking, or if you would like to be, this is an excellent motivator to get you going.
There you go.
So, yeah, a little bit different, but it's a survival game. It totally fits.
It fits.
Yes.
Close enough.
Yeah. So if you're like, oh man, I'm getting out of shape, this is the perfect time. The weather is excellent.
But depends where you live. That's a very broad statement you can't make.
Okay. Well, Nick knows where the weather isn't excellent because of his weather tracking software. But for me, like, it's a beautiful day out. It's staying lighter out.
It is. It is definitely staying lighter out later. Like, we started this show at 7 and the sun was still up.
Yep. So, I mean, if you're even after the show's done, you could go out and do a 30-minute walk or jog.
Not here. It's 9 o'clock, but
well, here it's still light out.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's say But that's a.
So he wants to know what happens when a zombie catches you. I don't think that the zombie in this can catch you.
No, but then where's your immersion? Where is your immersion?
You can stop running now. A zombie caught you. You were too slow. Like,
where's your immersion? Immersion. Come on. Get with the program.
I mean, they're going to be like, oh, you are not a good enough runner. You lose.
Yeah, you lose. Nice try. So sad. Too bad.
Nice try. You go back to your computer room. Sit down.
Let's see.
All right. So do you want to do the last giveaway?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So we will roll one more time. I hope everybody has entered. I assume they have.
Yeah, I mean, you've had like 25 minutes at this point. So.
All right. So we will roll again. Bloodcore 91.
Another friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Thank you for listening.
The only people that listen are the only people that are in the chat besides Mick.
It's kind of like a month is not a measurement of time.
Everybody but Mick Grogan is a friend of the show because this is the first time he's ever listened live. Everybody else is a friend of the show. Every other name in here I recognize. So.
Yep. He's a new friend of the show.
He's a new friend of the show, exactly.
But he said he's been listening since episode 1.
Yeah, so he's a new live friend of the show. So there you go.
But Nick doesn't think people who don't listen live are real people. So
no, I do. I see the downloads. They're real for sure. I don't know why we were doing this if they weren't downloading it. Yeah. Sorry, Supercar fan. We don't like you. I think that's it. Real quick. Friday night, yes. Overwatch, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Download it. You can download it now. You have if you're watching the show live, you have between Tuesday and Friday at 9:30 to download Overwatch. Plenty of time. Yep. You schedule it to run overnight on your computer, so it doesn't slow down your internet during the day. So you can totally do that. It's going to be on Landgun's Twitch TV channel, twitch.tv/Landgun44. He'll start around 9:30. And then we're giving away another copy of Hide and Hold Out Friday night between 10 and 11 o'clock Eastern, maybe 11 and 12, something like that. So come hang out. And we had that is the most people we've had in our team speak in a very long time last week.
And there's one more thing before we end the show. So I am starting to work on a super secret project. So we won't be talking about it for some time, but if you're interested in development and you were possibly interested in helping us with something, you should let me know. So you should email me or message me on Steam or something. Or you can email us at contact@infectionpodcast.com. And I can't tell you anything until you sign an NDA. So sorry.
Damn, son. Pulling out the legal on you.
Yeah.
It's a secret project, so the X-Files theme was perfect.
Yeah, super secret.
Yeah,
so if you're interested, even like you like making game assets, concept art, anything.
Gadlaw, I can confirm it is a haircut simulator. It's sweeping the nation like farming sim. So there you go. Yeah, definitely. Real quick.
Survive the haircut.
Survive the haircut. Our podcast app should all be fixed. Brian made a change to the server that now I had Agnostic send me an email or a message early in the week that his podcast app was up and working again. So everybody should be up and running now. If you still have any issues, we need the name of the app. We didn't get any this week, so I guess it's not that big of an issue. We need the name of the app and just email that to us, contact@infectionpodcast.com, so that we can contact them and get it all straightened out. So is that it, Brian? Or no, where can people find you online, though? Okay,
well, now one thing, someone said that the stream started buffering right when I said that. So yeah, if you're interested in possibly doing some development on something that is yet to be announced, let me know. So on either Steam or you can contact infectionpodcast.com. Of course, if you want to find me directly at Voicing Computer, I spend half the time in our Infection Twitter and half the time in mine. So you might want to tweet both. And also make sure you join our Steam group. If you play survival games, if you play any games, it doesn't even have to be survival anymore, right? I mean, we play all kinds of different games. If you want to find other people that play the same game, or you want to get people into playing the game that you're into, jump onto our Steam group. If you go to infectionpodcast.com, in the upper right, there is a join our Steam group button. And then also there's a join our TeamSpeak button that will let you get into our TeamSpeak. You're more than welcome to play it. Maybe you have a group of friends that aren't regular listeners or anything. You're more than welcome to jump in there, either jump into a channel or create your own channel. and you can hang out and use it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not picky about that.
Yeah, totally. When we first started Infection, Brian had a bunch of like little children, literally like 10 and 11-year-old kids that would play like CS:GO or something. And then eventually we were just kind of like, get the hell out of here. Like, this is our server now. We're bringing down the banhammer. So you can, there's PHVCK is always in like Game of the Week. He's just always chilling in there. Pistol Pete's always in there. I haven't talked to him in forever. He's always in there playing CS:GO. So it's a what's it got, 500 slots or 1,000 slots, something like that.
Yeah, I've got 512, I think, is the limit. So we can have 511 other people than myself.
Yes. Yeah, and Gadlow says you better speak or you get banned. That's a rule we have. So make sure you join our TeamSpeak. Again, this Friday night, it'll be on. Go to the Steam group every week. We'll have it in the Steam group what game we're playing. That is going to do it for episode number 68 of Infection, the Survival Podcast. My name is Nick Craig. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week for Infection. Have a good week, everybody.